Hi, everybody. Welcome to the first show of the season of the FreeSkate. My name is Ryan. I am so happy to be back and sharing some skating stuff with you guys. Today, we are celebrating Canadian Thanksgiving. So, to all of those of you out there in Canada or around the world who celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving, happy Thanksgiving to you. Yes, we are aware that Americans celebrate in November, but us in Canada here celebrate in October. So it is a long weekend for us. So it is Thanksgiving Monday here in Canada. I am in Niverville, Manitoba, and it is a gorgeous day outside. So I am recording outside today because we're not going to have too many more days where it feels good enough like this to be outside. Today's video is going to be about the Kamila Valieva and Russian doping scandal situation. I've done, I would say, a lot of research into this over the last month or so, and to basically not have a 6-hour video on explaining every little detail, because we could go down so many holes down this path here. I want to keep this as basic as I can and get you to understand the lengths of it if you aren't aware of the insides of the situation and other facts around it. So a lot of people have been unhappy with the prospect of Russia being allowed back into competition in international events, including figure skating. For me, I worry more about the doping side of it than the war side of it. I don't want to get too political or take sides, because I think that's a very tricky situation there, and I don't think everything is how you see it. So I worry more about the doping because it's been so widespread. Russia has not proven that they can actually stay clean, and that's what worries me the most. I mean, we're going into October 2023, and we still don't have a resolution to the previous Olympic scandal. That is insane. I've never seen something take this long before with so much facts that are kind of hiding in plain sight. If you do it, it's a few Google searches to no answers. And I guess, I mean, in a trial that concerns a minor, it's a little bit trickier. But let's delve into a little bit of history and a little bit of reasoning on why I personally feel that Russia should not be allowed back into competing. So I'm going to read this off my phone here because it's kind of lengthy. And I can't memorize it all. So if I'm looking down and not at the camera, that's why. So let's start by having a few facts. Russia has the most athletes by a country mile who have been caught doping. 150 plus athletes. That's 30% of the global total. Nearly 50 Olympic medals stripped alone. That doesn't include world championships or other events. Most doping cases are linked to a state-wide sponsorship rather than individuals, as Russia governing sports body has been caught red-handed supplying their athletes steroids and other drugs. They've even been caught trying to manipulate computer data of ongoing trials of athletes who have been caught, notably dating back to 2009. A report stated between 2001 and 2009 that over 7,200 samples were taken and 2,700 of them were positive or suspicious of drugs. Now, this was not just Russian samples. This was samples over everyone. Country A, which was allegedly Russia, had a very noticeable difference in the numbers of positive cases. I don't know what the number exactly was, but it was apparently enough to make the report that it was a wide margin. Country was allegedly Russia. Russian government officials even went as far as visiting labs, testing the samples, instructing their employees not to cooperate with WADA officials on testing regulations. Furthermore, get this, 2 former Russian RUSADA directors died unexpectedly in the same month and the same year. One of them being Nikita Kamev, who reportedly went to a Russian TV station and said that he was going to release a book that stated the truth about doping and pharmacology in Russia since the 1980s regarding sports. After that TV appearance, he was assassinated. and so was one of the other directors that was working with him as well. I mean, that's apparently quite normal in Russia. I mean, how many people have fallen out of 6-story windows? I mean, there's quite a few. So only so many accidents you can fall out of windows from or fall down a flight of stairs. It's quite crazy. So now that we've laid out some of the damning truths and evidence and reports about how crazy the doping has gotten in Russia, let's dig into a bit about the 2014 Olympics in Sochi and how their infamous statewide home Olympic doping scheme went about. It was shocking, absolutely shocking that this all went on, and a surprising no, shocking yes. They will literally stop at nothing. So I don't know what makes people think that they're going to be clean going in from now on. They're just going to find ways to conceal and try again. And the Olympic committees are just going to do a slap on the wrist and send them back and say, sorry, you can't wear your flag or something like that. There are a few names to keep track of. One of the names is Grigory Rodchenkov. He was one of the main men at the heart of the 2014 Olympic drug scandal. In a New York Times interview, he let truths out about how it all happened. Positive drug samples of the home athletes were switched out for clean ones through a mouse hole of the WADA testing center. They developed a technology to open tamper-proof bottles with thin metal pieces. They destroyed 1,417 positive urine samples. He admitted to creating a 3-drug cocktail of banned substances mixed with liquor that were given to the Russian athletes. The 3-drug cocktail is as follows: metenolone, trenbolone, and oxandrolone. Now, those 3 things together do significant things for athletes. And separately, this is what they do. Metenolone, which animal studies suggest boosts muscle mass and allows for bigger output of maximum force, but which has been also linked with serious health risks in people, including outbreaks of acne and becoming infertile. Trenbolone, which is used on livestock again to ramp up muscle growth and to boost appetite, is classified as a Schedule 3 substance, a drug with the potential for abuse. So the drug has potential for abuse. In this case, I think Russia figured that out. Oxandrolone, which is currently used in hospital settings to help patients gain weight after injury or serious illness. I think that may have to do with an appetite, maybe, if they've been malnourished or on liquid diets or whatever the reason is, maybe to amp up right before an event. They might be able to put on a little bit more muscle mass. I'm not entirely sure about that one. But those 3 things used together were given to the athletes. The measurements were very exact to the millimeter, as well as the timing of when they were supposed to take this cocktail. They were also given very specific instructions how to use it as well. That was including to swish it in their mouths and under their tongues. And that is how the athletes were given these 3-drug cocktails and asked to take them. This is all coming from his mouth because when he was, I guess, approached by the FBI, they had all this evidence against him, and they basically said, you will be protected as long as you tell us the truth. And so now he is in witness protection in the United States under, I think, a different name and or a different identity, because basically if he just goes out and about or back to Russia, he will 100% be killed, for sure. So he's now moved out of Russia into the United States under witness protection, as his life was in immediate danger as truth started to come out. Since then, Kruger has cooperated with Canadian lawyers on an investigation regarding that situation. He has a tell-all book right out now called Rodchenkov Affair. It is out in stores now. I have not read it, but that is definitely going to be on my to-buy list. I actually have a Chapters Indigo gift card, and I think I'm definitely going to go get that book because I'm very interested to know about what he's told. The second person to know about is Mr. Dr. Philip Shvetsky, which is the team Russia and Atari doctor. He was already suspended between 2007 and 2010 alongside rowing members for doping, more specifically due to an intravenous method. After his suspension was lifted, he joined the Russian figure skating team. Dr. Shvetsky has filed a lawsuit because somebody was defaming him, calling him Dr. Doping in an article that was released. He states that it is not fair that his reputation and honor are at risk without any court ruling of negligence. I mean, I don't know why you would assume that. I mean, the guy's linked to so many other things, but it's, you know what, I find a lot of higher ups in Russia, including certain coaches and certain bodies, you know, they stick their head in the sand, or they talk like we're stupid, like we don't know what's happening, or oh, how could something be, it's just so preposterous that you would think this. But meanwhile, there's so much evidence against it. It's like if they just tell us enough that it didn't happen that way, that we're actually going to believe that it didn't happen that way. So he goes on to also say, which I found his response interesting. If courts do find things, he will take responsibility. So when you say that, you're already saying like there's a possibility of a court finding negligence against you. I mean, if you're innocent, you wouldn't even say that. You just say it's not, like, this didn't happen. I'm innocent. But he now goes on to say that if courts do find the evidence, it's like basically challenging them to find the evidence. Anyways, this brings us now to specifically Team Tutberidze. Since her glorious rise in Russian figure skating production, Russia has a constant conveyor belt of young ladies that are doing harder jumps than 90% of the men, winning titles at 13, 14, 15 years old and retired by 17 because their bodies simply cannot handle it. In fact, there have been 0 Team Terry skaters that have kept competing past 20 years old. In fact, most haven't even hit 18 years old. It's a very concerning pattern. In any other country, there would be investigations into training methods, nutrition, possible abuse, and illegal substances. And in Russia, it is lauded that there are Russian phenoms 13, 14, and 15 that are being pushed to their complete body's capacity and breaking down 2-3 years later because they can't handle it anymore. But that's perfectly normal, right? Yeah. So what do we know with the Kamila Valieva case? We do know that Kamila Valieva has tested positive for a banned substance at the National Championships of Russia. That was in, I believe, December it was of the Olympic season. Now the excuse for that was, I mean, her grandpa testified on video that he takes this drug as heart medication, and somehow Kamila was visiting him and took a sip from his glass or something, and there could have been a contamination or something. I mean, no, it, you know, wouldn't be, you know, maybe slight off timing or off dosage of whatever you were taking that actually made the substance show up, because we all know the timing and the doses are so exact, and if they're even slightly bit off, it's gonna mean that it's gonna show up in some sort of test. So anyways, they ran with the grandpa's heart medication. The probability of that was obviously incredibly low, and it's just way too ridiculous, and the timings are crazy. Anyways, there was also 3 heart medications positive in her sample. 2 have not been banned, 1 was. The 2 that have not been banned are hypoxin and L-carnitine. Both, when used with the banned substance trimethazine, 3 substances, by the way. Shvetsky had, or was it Shvetsky or what? The Russians had the 3-drug cocktail to begin with anyways, so they might have modified it into different things. The most recent comes last week, as the most recent news, of this comes last week as the CAS delayed the case ruling until November 9th in a closed-door meeting. I don't know why this meeting is closed door. I know the Americans have tried to get into the meeting to kind of see what was going on and what was said. I think they absolutely have the right to do so, as this directly affects them and all other countries that are involved in it. But I think because it's involving a minor at the time, I think it has to be closed door that way. The delay came after the CAS has asked for more documentation from the parties, as if there hasn't been long enough. We have to wait for more documentation because they didn't know when the trial was happening the first time, right? Kamila Valieva also did not appear in person. She appeared video teleconference, which was allowed. Allegedly, there was not enough money to fly her or time or something, which, I mean, we all know is complete BS because the Russians have money to do pretty much anything they want. USA and Japan are still waiting to see their medals for the games in the team event, while if Russia is found guilty, they get stripped. All the other teams move up. Canada, who placed fourth, will be awarded the bronze medal. I don't know what's going to come of this. I feel like even if there's I shouldn't say that, I don't know. See, even if there's evidence, I feel like there might not be anything happening. There might be some wheeling and dealings in the back or some Russian payoffs. I'm not entirely sure. There's got to be some backdoor deals being done. I don't know why everything is taking this long. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's very concerning. It's also very concerning that these patterns have been happening for decades now, and there has been so much proof and literally admittance from people in the Russian sporting system saying that yes, this is happening. And yet we don't see the proper suspensions. We don't see the federation being punished. All we see is athletes not being able to represent their country, either without the flag, or they have to represent another Russian body that's not the sports body. I mean, frankly, to me, if you're an athlete and you are in Russia and you are part of the state-funded system, you should be the null and void right there. I mean, I'm sorry if you're one of the clean ones or you don't know what's happening, but I mean, take a look around. I mean, I get, things in Russia are censored and they only put out what they want you to know. I think, but they're also very smart too, and I think they've gotten masters of manipulation. And I also think there's a lot of money to be put around, and I think there's being things paid off, and it's like it has in judging. How many times have we heard about a Russian judge in figure skating? It's crazy. You know what? I just watched on Netflix Bad Sport again. Bad Sport is on Netflix, and there's an episode of the 2002 Olympics with the Russian and Canadian pairs teams when Jimmy and David ended up sharing a bronze medal with the Russians. And I found it really funny, especially listening to some of the Russian coaches on there, and their opinions of it. It's just like they talk and they think we're stupid. Anyways. So that is all my condensed info as what I wanted to lay out. We're at 18 minutes. That's pretty good. I was trying to keep this video around 20 minutes long. Let me know what you think in the comments. Share this video. I want a lot of input, so I would love for you to share it on Twitter or X or whatever you call it. Share it on Instagram. Share it if you want on the skating blog sites, etc. And get people to subscribe and get people to like. And I want to hear what you think about this. My next video will probably be a season preview one next week. Before we head into, so I guess Skate America would be the first Grand Prix event of the year. So again, I wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving if you're in Canada, and I hope you're all doing well, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and share my video. Thanks, guys.